Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey everyone, welcome back to On Air Law, your go-to podcast from your lawmates at Universitas Airlangga. My name is Raymond and I'll be your host today. And I'm absolutely thrilled today because we've got an amazing guest, someone who's not just a legal scholar, but a global change maker. Straight from Western Sydney University, let's give a warm welcome to the Dean of the Law School at WSU, Professor Catherine Shaw.
Thank you so much, Raymond. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. I'm thrilled about the discussion we're going to have.
It is a great honor for me too. So how's your trip in Surabaya? Has it been pleasant?
It's been so pleasant. This is my first visit to Surabaya and I am enchanted with everything. The people have been so friendly, the food has been fantastic, and the weather has been very nice and warm. It's winter in Sydney, so much hotter here.
Yeah, so to our listener, our guest here is in Surabaya for the 8th Human Rights Conference, a major gathering that brings together legal minds and advocates from across the world. It's such a privilege to have you here with us, Dean Renshaw. This week marks a special occasion. Not only are you in Surabaya to take part in the 8th Human Rights Conference, but your visit also opens a new chapter for our Faculty of Law here at Universitas Airlangga. Through this visit, Western Sydney University Law School and our faculty have begun forging a partnership that we hope will create meaningful opportunities for both our students and academic communities. Could you perhaps tell us what inspired this collaboration and what exciting possibilities you see ahead for our lawmates?
Yes, thank you for that great question. So last year, your Dean of Law here visited us at Western Sydney University in Sydney, and we had the opportunity to discuss many things, and we discovered that we had a lot in common. We have students who are hungry for international experiences and to expand the horizons of their learning. And we had academic scholars who are very interested in joint research projects on really important issues like trade in the Asia Pacific, like technology, like human rights, and like climate change. So we've signed a memorandum of agreement and it covers student exchanges, research collaborations, and academic partnerships. And we're so very excited about seeing some of this come to fruition very soon.
So for our listeners, this partnership opens an opportunity for exchange right, at the WSU Law School. Moving on to law students. So we just recently receiving our new freshman law students in Indonesia and especially in this faculty. So what would you say are the biggest hurdles they face nowadays, especially with digital overload, evolving job markets, and rising cost of living pressures?
So I think a lot of the challenges are the same for students in Surabaya and the same for students in Western Sydney, where my university is. The cost of living for students is very high, and students have difficulty finding places to rent, and then they have difficulty providing what they need for their studies, the textbooks, the computers. Many of them have to work quite a lot, and that interferes with their studies. So that's a challenge, the cost of living. But then there's also pressure on the legal profession itself right now. The legal profession in Australia is looking at the rise of AI, and they're wondering what jobs, particularly at the lower level graduate jobs, can be done by AI instead of young junior solicitors, which is what we call our lawyers. And that's troubling for our young students. They are investing a lot of time in their degree and they want to be assured that they'll have a good job at the end of it. So a big question for us is how we meet the challenge of AI. On the one hand, we have law firms telling us that they want students to be equipped with the technological tools that will be used in practice of law into the future. And on the other hand, we have the continuing pressure from some parts of the legal profession, from the judiciary and from our own academic colleagues to teach students core skills in thinking, in critical thinking and analysis. And that's the fear that with the rise of AI, that core ability to analyse and think deeply about the law and its application might be lost. So like every law school in the Asia Pacific and indeed in the world, we're trying to navigate these two competing pressures right now.
I see. So regarding the AI technology nowadays, so do you think that the role of lawyers or legal educations is at risk for becoming obsolete, or is it there a stronger purpose emerging while using the technology AI?
It's a question that we're taking very seriously. What is the future of the legal profession if so many parts of the practice of law can be outsourced to AI? The answer that we're building at Western Sydney University School of Law is built around the idea that there will always be very important parts of being a lawyer that can never be outsourced to AI. And we know what they are. So AI has very poor ethical judgment. So when it comes to making complex decisions around ethics and justice, it needs a person who is attuned in a variety of different ways to the context that they're operating in. We also know that AI will never be as good as a person at the empathetic human side of lawyering, which is always going to be an important part of being a lawyer. Every practice of law, from corporate to legal aid, needs the human contact that is at the heart of being a good lawyer, I think. And then we also know that AI is not going to be able to address all of the needs of a litigator or a corporate lawyer or someone involved in community practice. So there'll always need to be a well-trained eye assessing the work that's done by AI to ensure that it's true, because we know that there are hallucinations and problems with the use of AI and that you can't just give tasks to AI. In Australia, we've had quite a few legal cases where lawyers have tried to present to the court documents that were created using AI and that were fictional, made up sources and things. And the courts treated those lawyers very harshly. They were struck off. They can no longer be a lawyer. They are no longer allowed to practice. So that was a very big warning to our students that they have to control and contain the use of AI in what they do.
Oh, I see. So we've talked about how AI will not be sufficient enough to be rely on, like, to be our only source as lawyer or in legal practice.
That's it exactly, Raymond. And the other side to it is that AI will create a whole new different type of legal job. Tech lawyers, programmers, coding, people who need to be deep into the technology to know how it can best be applied in law. And we're investing in that side of education as well.
So the technology AI won't replace our roles as lawyers or legal educators, but it opens a new field for the legal perspective.
That's our hope, yes. So our job as legal educators is to make sure we provide the whole suite of legal education, deep legal knowledge, an aptitude for the interpersonal aspects of being a lawyer, good communication, empathy, those sorts of things, and sound ethical judgment. And that's a really fascinating part of being a legal educator. You can't just teach the rule of law as a principle or ethical judgment. You need to show students through case studies or preferably in real life what it's like to have to make decisions that call your values into question. I've been very excited looking at your clinical program here, the legal aid work that you do in partnership with the law school and legal aid. It's fantastic, very inspiring. We're building our own clinical practice at the moment, and we're going to embed the sort of learning you do in clinical practice. So experiential learning, real-life problem-solving skills, working in teams. We're going to embed that throughout our whole curriculum, which should be an exciting way of learning for students.
That sounds exciting. So regarding AI, again, we cannot solely use AI for our only source as law students or law practices. Then I want to ask you, from your perspective, how should law students use AI for their studies and maybe for their future careers?
So I think that law students need to be familiar with how law-specific AI tools can make their jobs faster when they get into practice. For example, in discovery, when you have to analyze large amounts of materials and create chronologies and things, it's helpful to be able to employ AI to do an initial ordering of the material, I think. But then it requires a law-trained student or lawyer to analyze what's been created. So we're trying to show in every single subject that our students do how technology is used in that particular subject. So when our students graduate, they will have the knowledge they need to be able to work very efficiently and effectively in their law firm, but they will also have the deep knowledge of the principles of law, the underlying reasons why legal decisions are made the way they are, and they'll also have an understanding of values and ethics.
So, to our listeners, we as law students, we should always use AI smartly and to make our work more efficient. But we cannot solely use AI for our only source, and we cannot rely on AI solely. So, I want to ask also, maybe before we wrap this up, do you have any special or any particular advices for our freshmen who just joined us at the Faculty of Law at Universitas Airlangga?
I do. So I have been teaching now for 27 years, and the two things that I have learnt are that students might come to law school with a particular idea. They want to be a criminal lawyer, or they want to be a big corporate lawyer working in a fancy office. And it is not that often that students finish their degree with the same idea. So my first bit of advice would be to keep a very open mind and have as many different experiences as you can, try lots of things, and who knows where you will end up. And the second bit of advice I have is that it is inevitable that at some point throughout your law degree, something will go wrong, a personal problem or a problem with your studies. And the only time that I've ever seen a problem really derail a student's academic career is when they don't reach out for help. And students have to be able to ask for help. I've met many of your professors and lecturers since I've been here, and what has struck me strongly is that they love teaching. They look for the ways that they can help their students and help their students excel. And students need to be confident enough to ask for help when they need it.
Okay, thank you, Dean Renshaw, for your two advices for our new freshmen here. Remember to always keep your open mind, and also don't be afraid or shy to ask for help, whether it's to your professors, your lecturers, or maybe even your friends. Okay, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you once again, Dean Renshaw, for joining us today. Your journey and insights are next level inspiring. And to our lawmates at UNAIR, let's stay curious and ready for the future. Keep building your critical thinking muscle and never stop creating impact. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.